Hola, me llamo Adam y bienvenidos a este video. En ese box hay un parto nuevo por SR20. ¡Qué interesante! No es el mismo parte de otro SR20. Es muy importante porque cuando drift el oil va a izquierda, a derecha, pero es importante para keep el oil en el centro del motor.
I don't know when you're done talking now.
No sé qué es muchas palabras que yo voy a hablar. ¿Es correcto o no correcto? Inglés o español. Porque el content es el mismo de otro video. Es importante que la lengua es diferente. ¿Entiendes? No estoy usando un translador. Las palabras son de mi cabeza. Porque escuela y español. Por 4 años. Hola.
Is that my cue to stop?
Yep.
Okay.
Time for some subframe content. We already did the GK Tech weld-in reinforcement plates on this. Marco knocked it out, just kind of beefens it up a little bit more. It already is reinforced because it's a spec R, but now it's reinforced even more. So I'm trying something a little bit different. I've never used these before. GK Tech makes poly diff bushings. I hate solid diff bushing 240s because it just makes so much noise and you hear all the diff noise and everything just vibrates and clunks. So I'm gonna try these. I don't have any personal experience with them, but I do think it's cool. It gives you two options to either have the subframe at regular height or raise it 10 mil, which we're going to do. That kind of helps with some of the suspension arm angles, and it's going to help because the Z-diff sits so low. So I think these will be pretty easy to put in. It says to just lube them up, tap them in. Let's try it. Well, that sucked. One trick I did, I don't know if I'm not supposed to be doing this. Officer Dan, if you see this and you're like, that's not how you're supposed to do it. He probably has a great video on how to do this, by the way. And I'm just being ignorant for not watching it. Should I do the same trick on the other one, or should I try it without it? Just in case it works.
Let's try without it.
Okay. Basically what I did, I took a razor blade and I just shaved like a little section, just so it has a little bit more to kind of center itself before I started banging away. I don't know if it really did that much, but it seemed to help. Super bucket list right now to get a lathe. Would make this so much easier. So many little situations we've come into where we could have just made a bushing or made a spacer with a lathe. So the technique that I found works the best for the lower ones, which are the bigger pane, I shave down a very small amount with a razor. I start one corner in like the more messed up side, kind of start it there and then tap until I can get the other side seated. Put one hand over there so it stops bouncing.
Yes.
You can film at the same time. A buddy will help. And then once you get it started, one of my favorite humans on the planet sold me a beautiful stock 350Z diff that's already welded by the man himself, Matt the Ginge. Conveniently, this one already has bushings removed too, so I just gotta tap these solid bushings out.
They're floored. Jeez. Can't have nice.
Yeah. Basically I want to get the front mounted first to see kind of where the rear lines up, because it's not centered like you would think. I don't know why car diffs always sit crooked. Maybe y'all know and can tell me in the comment section. I'm gonna be using ISR's Pro Series arms on this build. As a consumer, I've always found a hard time kind of deciding between arms because in the end of the day, it is just kind of like a piece of metal with a bearing or a ball joint on it. I've had these on my S13 for probably 3 or 4 years now. They haven't developed play. I've had a few little incidents where they haven't bent. I've been happy with them. It's a fantastic arm for the price. And as opposed to doing like all the Nismo arms like I did on the R34, having the adjustability for me is very important to get like the proper toe curve, camber curve, all the things that make tires last longer and give the car more grip. In my head so much putting everything in upside down. So I can't assemble the whole knuckle assembly like I'd want to because right now the knuckles have no bushings in them. So got to take care of that. Bushings coming tomorrow so I can put those in. I'm gonna paint them, put the bushings in, but I decided to do just aftermarket Nismo arms for this instead of redoing the bushings and the ball joints on the stock ones. And I hope those will be in a couple days and then I can pretty much get the whole rear end of this car buttoned up. I'm back, mother. With your head. I am pumped. I can finally finish assembling the rear end of this car because what's inside this box are my monoball bushings. So SPL sells a kit for the rear knuckle. I wanted to run stock knuckle. I didn't want to run a drop knuckle or anything fancy. Trying to keep it simple, but I didn't want to run into any weird bushing issues and have to do this after the fact. So figure while I'm in there, press in some nice, beautiful bushings from the guys over at SPL, and we'll be chilling. I tried this in a press, it didn't really work well. Knuckles are just kind of like a weird shape and it just doesn't really having it. So we're using a vise, using a little bit of lubricant, and then I just pulled these things fresh out of the freezer. So let's see how much they cooperate. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass, sometimes it just works. That ain't bad at all. It starts to get kind of hard though. It would be a lot easier if I had a wire wheel to get in there because I was lazy and I painted the inside of where the bushing goes, so I'm just dealing with pushing a lot of that paint out, but beautiful. And one knuckle is complete. They gone? Mm-hmm. All right, next up we got some hubs. These are ISR 5-lug conversion hubs. The ones that were on the car had a bunch of play. Had great luck with these. Worthy mention, I feel like it's kind of obvious, but I forget to plug Drift HQ. We stock a bunch of ISR stuff. I've been using a lot of it on this S15 build. They make a lot of stuff that's very affordable and good quality for like Z's, S chassis, Miata, I think Genesis. But I got a set of ARP studs. I'm gonna pop in these. These are for the rears because why not? Haha. 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 See if I can do one hit.
Whoa.
Spicy.
Big hammer guy over here.
I'm glad Johan didn't see that one.
Your fingers.
You can wait a second, guy. Oh, come on.
Bro, you don't tie that? If you have a bad wheel bearing, you know why.
So much confidence. There you go. It's really fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yo, this guy's great at whack-a-mole.
I'm gonna go to China and build axles.
Is he gonna go to China and build
Yep.
Oh.
Hubs.
Axe holes.
Yes.
Axe holes is what he said.
Don't smash your fingers,
Yeah,
please.
Dude,
please.
okay, this is like a blood blister. My fingernail's about to fall off. I need to hold it with like, yo, do people ever do that?
What?
You know how like when you're like grinding something, you hold it with a vice grip so you don't smash your hand?
Yep.
That would be brilliant. I'm not gonna do that though. That's for
Next cut, smash his thumb.
Oh, no, homie. You need to smack the shit out of
homie,
that.
I'm not trying to smack the shit out of my hand again, homie.
So yeah, I watched that many times yesterday. You want me to climb that thing up a little better?
Bro, I'm just terrified,
The
honestly.
internet's gonna make fun of us because there's probably a better way to do this. Which we have the better way to do it.
Oh, the press?
Yeah.
No, use the press.
No, use the press. Way better.
What's
Sean,
up, Boof?
Boof, please. Put the additive in the 15.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Ready.
Eating my hammer.
Let's go. We gotta go to Long Beach.
That's normal. Or that's from
Long Beach, we're coming for ya.
I don't know if this will go all the way in. I might need a socket for that last part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, give her a whirl.
Well, it's only gonna go until it's flush.
That's it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This is where I have a problem.
Oh, I understand now. Like the light bulb was flickering in my head for a little.
In theory, if you had a 3/4 inch socket, this would also work, but we had a spare piece of pipe laying around. And that worked a little bit better than the press, because the press is really annoying to like get the hub to stay put, but this seems to be working.
Yo. You gotta drive your truck.
Me?
I don't know what to film right now. There's so much going on.
Adam, just film.
Garza!
Floors up.
You're not floor!
Oh, Christ. Oh, that's not good. You know that whole scene is gonna be just a bunch of
Yeah, it's gonna sound like an EDM concert.
This video is too easy for Mike to edit.
You're welcome, Mike. Adamson.
So, I'm doing something new for this car. I don't have my calipers here because Ray is painting them for me, but rather than running dual Z32 calipers, GK Tech makes a kit that retains the stock caliper and just adds one extra bracket for a Willwood. The reason why I'm going this route, the Willwood calipers, in my opinion, lock up a lot better for a handbrake than the Z32 calipers do. You don't need like some crazy insane pad. I really like how they look on the E36. They work great, but the main reason is it retains the stock single piston rear brake where you have the cable parking brake that's not in the hub, which makes it a lot easier to work on and service, and you don't need to do the whole Z32 rear hub conversion that I've done on multiple cars now, which is just super annoying. I hate working with drum brakes, so I'll keep my stock factory parking brake, which is really nice on a drift car if you need to let it cool down, rather than trying to like wedge something between the hydro or just not having a parking brake at all. So it's the simplest. It's also very thin, so it doesn't space out the hub insanely far. And it's inexpensive. So yet another thing we've got in stock at Drift HQ. I don't have personal experience with it, but theoretically this should be like my favorite dual caliper bracket. I bought these arms forever ago for my R32. I'm not actually going to be using these. I think I already explained that I'm going to use Nismo arms just because I don't need adjustable lower control arms. It's just one more thing to get loose or have issues with. But I really want to mock up everything on the subframe, so I'm going to use these for that purpose. So I was about to explain to you guys why I prefer not to use the eccentric lockout kit for camber arms, but prefer to use it for toe arms, and I realized I'm putting the toe arm in the wrong spot. So with that being said, ISR eccentric lockout kit. For camber, that's fine. We don't really touch camber a lot, but for toe, I like to keep the eccentrics in. That way, if you hit something or if you need to make a quick adjustment, sometimes it's easier than having to get spanners on here, especially when if you come back here. Oh my God, I just switched out those freaking dumb things for no reason because I was dumb and was trying to put the arm in the wrong spot. A lot of people put these upside down. Don't be that guy. They go like this. The bend is for clearance. Alright guys, we're gonna cut the video short here. I thought about going into another day since I guess the live was kind of an upload. But I got the subframe pretty much done. It's all kind of loose together. I got to take some measurements to figure out where I want to get arms set. And then once I get my rotors and calipers, I can fit all that stuff, get like lines ran and stuff. But it's cool. Once the S15's back, I'm gonna have a lot of stuff ready to just drop right in it. Some final finishing touches I can do to the SR tomorrow that I'm excited about. But we're gonna test drive some cars tomorrow and rip them around the compound. So let me know what you wanna see, what you wanna hear in terms of feedback, specifically the Drift HQ cars that we'll be renting. Just wanna dial them in and make sure they're up to my standard. Make sure they all drive as sick as I want them to. I'll see you guys soon. And I hope you enjoy this video. Garza!
When you say when you say
Right.
that you love me,
A bunch of
Yeah, it's gonna sound like an EDM concert.